Hello and welcome back to the channel. So if you're wondering, why am I glad to be back? Where did I go? Well, if you were one of our Patreon followers or our Buy Us a Coffee subscribers, you probably know the answer to this right now. But a friend of mine had to do a visa run, him and his family, and they asked my wife and I if we wanted to come along. And it was a cheap enough country. It was only an hour and a half away from here. So what we did is we flew to Vietnam. We spent 6 days in Vietnam, just got back, very excited to be back. I'll explain everything. So when we went to Vietnam, we left out of the Chiang Mai International Airport. There wasn't much of a crowd there whatsoever. So we boarded, I think it was Air Asia, something like that, and we went an hour and a half, that's how long the flight was, to get to Hanoi, Vietnam. So this was my wife and I's first time for going to Vietnam. We don't speak any Vietnamese. We did not know what to expect. We did not have an agenda. So it was myself, my wife, the pastor for our church, his wife, and their 2 young daughters. We all went to Vietnam and we landed in Hanoi. And right away I wanted to speak Thai to everyone because, you know, when you were just an hour and a half away and you're in Thailand, you go there, you know, you think your Thai is going to work there, but it does not, I can assure you. So we stayed in an Airbnb that we rented. It was a huge place right in the middle of the city of Hanoi. It was 36 flights up, huge building. So we go to check out our Airbnb facility. It's humongous. Everything was incredibly big. You know, this is the highest. There were only 37 floors in this building, and we were on 36. The only thing above us was the gym and the pool. So I guess we had the penthouse suite. It was very cheap, plus we all split the cost of it. But anyway, this place was amazing, big, luxurious. They even had fish in there. They had a koi fish inside the place on the 36th floor. Anyway, the rooms were big, the bathroom was incredible. So the facility we stayed in was top notch. Now, the first thing we noticed when we were looking out the window from the 36th floor of this building is that it looked like Chiang Mai in the smoky season. So there was a haze everywhere I looked. Asked my wife, I guess it must be the smoky season here in Hanoi. I'm not sure if it's like that all year round, but it was very smoky. It reminded me of March and April here in Chiang Mai. The other thing we noticed about Vietnam, Hanoi, and I know I'm not that familiar with Bangkok, but it's probably a lot like Bangkok, is that there are people everywhere, everywhere. I have always heard nightmares about the driving in Vietnam. How bad could it be? It was ridiculous. We drove around and there were near misses. I thought driving was crazy here in Thailand. By George, when we got back here in Thailand, I'm like, oh, finally people drive normal. And I'm the one always complaining about the driving here in Chiang Mai. Now, I did do some walking on the side streets of Vietnam I wanted to see what the real Vietnam would be like, not, you know, the big attractions and all that. So I went down all the side streets, and of course, there's many vehicles going by. I haven't even mentioned the honking. Here in Chiang Mai, if somebody honks the horn, it's rare. Over there, I believe if your horn doesn't work on your vehicle, you can't even drive it. That horn is going all the time. Every Grab that we took there, which is kind of like Uber, everybody's blowing their horns. Motorcycles blowing their horns, buses blowing their horns, everybody's blowing their horn. But we were going down these side streets and it was kind of really cool. It looked like a movie scene that you would see showing Vietnam. So the back alleys and everything, they're really nice, you know, very eccentric looking, exactly what you would expect to see in Vietnam. Now, I did see some good food there. I've always heard about the sandwiches in Vietnam. Found a little place that I loved eating, had the sandwiches. By the way, the prices in Vietnam are actually cheaper than they are here in Thailand. Blew me away. Let's put it this way. I bought everyone, there were 6 of us, and we're talking about sandwiches, you know, about a good foot long. I bought everyone a sandwich and a drink, and it came out to around $5 US for everything. Now, at one point in time, I found myself somewhere in Hanoi. And as we're walking down the street, we were heading towards a place we'd seen videos from on YouTube where some other people had gone, and it was like this train road. And on this train road, the train comes down and it's really close to all these little cafes that are on the side of the road. So we figured we would check that out. So we found this lady who took us down this dark little path down a back alley, which I thought was really cool, including her hat. And on the other side of this, we ended up right where we were trying to get to, only we could never figure out exactly how to get to this railroad street. Now, the bad news was we were there right around lunchtime, and we asked them when the next train comes, and it wasn't until 7 p.m. So there's no way we're going to stay there that long. This is a place where the train comes really close to everyone as it passes by, if you're fortunate enough to be there when it does go by. But the food there was very good. The service was very good. We really enjoyed our little stay there at this railroad track place, and you can tell it is set up for tourists, which actually is nice because everything is in English, and it was very easy to order and to get our food. The whole experience was pretty cool. But I got to say, I am extremely happy to be back in Thailand. I couldn't wait to get back. Things that bothered me, I couldn't speak. I didn't realize how much Thai that I have learned until I went to a country where I don't speak anything, where I'm just totally inept, can't do anything. So I was glad to be back in Thailand for that and to see everyone's smiling faces in Thai. And I also can read Thai now, so it's nice to see the signs with the Thai script that I can read now. And even the traffic I was happy to see, as you know now, because compared to Vietnam, we got no issues here now. None. But anyway, it was a fun trip. So what was cool is we got back on Saturday, and I knew this ahead of time. Saturday night, a friend of mine from our church, he's 19, he was fighting that night at I guess it's at the night market, and I think it was called Kalari Stadium. Anyway, we went there, me and some friends, we all met there and watched a Muay Thai fight. So that was a lot of fun to watch. They had all these preliminary matches, but believe it or not, our friend was the main card there. As you can see from the poster, he was the one furthest up. Didn't understand why he would be the main card, since this is the first time he's ever been in the ring before. He was fighting a guy from Germany, and I know now, the guy from Germany has been doing Muay Thai for a long time, practices in shape. Our poor guy didn't get but a week's notice about this fight. So let's just say he didn't train very hard for this thing. And it was his first fight. So, the hopes were high, but, let's just see how this was going to work out. So the crowd was all for him. There was a lot of people apparently from the United States there screaming USA, USA. Funny thing is that this German guy's girlfriend, who was Thai, was on the other side. I couldn't get her on video. She's too far away. She's shooting everyone a bird that was screaming USA, USA. She was very upset that anyone was, I guess, voting against her or cheering on against her man. And she was making it very clear that she didn't like anyone or that they were number one. I'm not sure. But anyway, the fight went on, and unfortunately our guy was gassed out. He ran out of energy. He hadn't, trained properly for this long of a fight, because when you train for fighting, I used to fight in the ring, you really, really have to do cardio. But he's going to try it again in the future, and he knows now what he needs to work on. So excited about that. I also have some shout outs. We had some people donate on our super thanks. That's that little button down below this video where it says thanks. So we'd like to say a special thank you to Brandon and Frederick J for donating to the channel on super thanks. Also on Buy Me a Coffee, we had 3 people, Dodie O, Phil and Gloria, and Jesse. So thank you very much for helping to support the channel. We really appreciate it. And don't forget, we do have these shirts for sale. Look for a link down in the description. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. We'd really appreciate it. We're a small channel. We're growing, hoping to bring you a lot of information about Thailand in general, and specifically Chiang Mai, Thailand. Well, that's all I have for right now. Thank you for watching, and until next time, Kap Kun Kap.